Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Bitch, you know I don't do downers, bitch. I'm an uppers hoe.
I did know that.
Yeah. From that quote, you must know that we are covering the classic piece of cinema, Tangerine. Mikey B's pick.
My pick.
For staff picks.
My choice. My pick.
We don't call it podcaster's choice anymore?
Too many syllables.
Freddie wants to change it because he's decided.
It's because it was too hard to fit the whole words
in your mouth,
in my mouth, and on graphics and everything else. Oh. So we're using the old video store staff picks.
I got you.
Heading for this.
Right. So wait, what is it?
You can still call it podcaster's choice.
I probably will. It's burned into my
so it's what? I missed it.
Staff picks is what I'm calling it because it's 2 syllables. But then I spent this much time explaining it, and might as well just have kept podcaster's choice.
Does that mean we're employees?
Well, you want to call it taster's choice?
Taster's choice. Folgers.
Yeah.
My body, my choice.
Yeah, I used to get to do staff choices when I was at Media Play.
That was one of the best parts of working in a video store, was doing these staff picks.
Yeah, it was fun.
When I worked at Walden Books, I thought I'd get to be a staff picker.
Yeah.
I didn't get to, though. I only worked for 2 weeks. And
then you can pick your friends and you can pick your staff picks, but you can't your nose pick. I don't know.
Maybe it's because your picks were going to be too not family friendly.
No, they fired me before.
What they do? What'd you do?
Oh, well,
you put too much sour cream in one of the books.
I did. No, I'm pretty sure it's really because the one girl I worked with really wanted her friend to get a job there, and she was a manager. But they hired me, so there is this. First of all, they all seem to think I was a weirdo.
What?
If this is your first time listening, Kelley is a weirdo.
Okay, how old were you?
Well, it's considerably weirder. It was 97, so I was out of control. But one day I was at the end of the day they said, your till was over $5, so I have to write you up for that. Which I was like, for being over? Under, maybe? I don't know about $5 under, but maybe, but over? That's weird. And again, it was the person who wanted their friend to work there who said that. And then the next night, now, I didn't even think at the time that she did this, she made it up. I believed that I was maybe $5 over, but that I shouldn't be written up for it, but now I believe that it was a lie.
But maybe she did you a favor because maybe she was like, if you want a job, you're going to have to give me $5 and put it in there. Because if she'd gone the other way and you'd been $5 under, you'd been like, there might have been police
Or
involved.
Possibly she was a time traveler and she knew that if you stayed there, you wouldn't go on to invent, what you invented.
That thing
transparent aluminum.
The thing you did.
We're not a living podcast. We usually talk about horror films, fantasy, sci-fi, but this month it's staff picks. Mikey picked Tangerine, which is a decidedly offbeat indie kind of film.
Yeah.
I'll be reviewing Mary, which is not at all
Mary.
Is not at all.
It's like a Pavlovian response by this point.
Yeah,
it really completely on beat.
I was thinking about getting a whole bunch of
Jack
A. Thank you. Saying Mary to play throughout the show, but then I realized Amy would come out of her skin.
But you have us; we can just do it for you,
Mary. I'm Freddy. There's Amy.
Hi. You're gonna hear extra dog tippy taps.
Yeah.
Because Andy's dog Guapo is visiting with us, and then Millie is so up his butt that she's following him around as he sniffs the studio. So there's lots of tippy tappings.
A lot of tippy tap. And if you want to see Guapo, you can go to our Instagram, Night of the Living Podcast, and you can see a nice little video. He's so cute. Andy's here.
He's a good boy. Andy's a good boy.
Andy is Guapo's
I'm sorry.
daddy.
I might probably be distracted during this episode. So if you don't hear from me, it's because I'm looking around.
Yeah,
for Guapo.
you're worried Guapo's going to take another shit.
Yeah, like as soon as Guapo got here, like within a minute, he took a nervous shit on Amy and Freddie's nice.
That was not that was a power move.
Well, it fits.
That was not a nervous shit.
Kind of fits in with the way everybody does when they get here.
Yeah.
Everybody takes a
Kind of
nervous
a new
shit.
thing.
That's Mikey B.
I'm Mikey B.
This is his episode this week.
Yay! Happy birthday almost.
Yeah, happy almost birthday.
4 days.
4 days on Thursday.
Take a shit right now.
I'm doing it right now.
Take a power shit.
I might have already done it.
It's so strange that like this kind of works out that the reason we started doing this is all of our birthdays are basically within a month of each other.
Not basically,
They're
they
all
are.
in January.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they all are now.
Yeah.
They used to be one in February.
Yeah.
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 And then Kelley.
Yep. Freddie's good at the calendar.
Old bookstore Kelley's here.
Yeah, I used to believe, because I don't know that she actually had, I don't believe she had the power to fire me. So I speculate now that she just told me I was fired and then told the actual manager that I
you quit.
Yeah.
And then Ziggy was like, "You can leave home now, Sheila."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, thank God."
And
Oh boy.
I leapt back.
Kelly got set up.
Yeah.
I worked at a discount bookstore.
Yeah.
Like an old closed down abandoned mall.
Not the book rack.
No, I don't remember what the place was called. But my till would never come out right.
Yeah.
I mean, never. But that's just because I suck at math.
Well, it's hard to keep it. When I worked at Kroger, I guarantee my till didn't come out anywhere close to right. Nobody said a goddamn word to me. I used to give people stuff if like a price wouldn't ring up.
You just would be like, "Take it."
I didn't. I'd be like,
I don't want to mess with it.
I'd be like, what does this
I don't
look
know
like?
why they fired
99
me.
cents to you?
I had like...
And they'd say, yeah, because I was customer service. I didn't want them to wait for my slow ass bagger to go run and look for a price. I'd be like, 99 cents, look good to you? All right.
I had,
You're like, "What's fair for this?"
At that bookstore, I had to do my staff picks, but I would be the only person in that store. And so I basically had 10 Enya albums.
You were all the staff
To play music all the time, and I sold discount books. Yeah.
You want people to go with the Orinoco Flow.
Yeah.
You want to people sail away?
I remember
did.
one of my
Wanted to sail
staff
away.
picks at Blockbuster was the Necronomicon movie with Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember. I can't remember any of the other ones, but there was some fun stuff. Oh, Meet the Feebles, I think, was one of them. And they were like,
my.
Good pick.
They were like, "You have some questions about your staff picks? You sure?"
I'm surprised they had that at Blockbuster video.
Yeah, that's how I saw it the first time.
What a
that
difference.
from getting it from Blockbuster. Patreon, we just had a heated Rise of Skywalker discussion with Dave and Jason.
Oh my, what sides was everyone on?
Well, we're on our own sides.
Yeah.
But I can tell you it's funny about Dave when you hear him talk about like the first time he saw it, he loved it, and then he came out the second time hating it.
Oh.
And we're like, what? And we had a really fun
That's usually
time.
the other way around.
Yeah. And he hated Last Jedi too.
Oh.
So like we got these conversations going, which we could have gone on for hours, but we only had like an hour to talk. So
If the internet isn't giving you enough
Star Wars,
Star
nerd
Wars fighting.
rage.
right, we weren't really fighting though.
I know.
I mean, we addressed all that.
These are good boys. I could personally vouch for all the boys on Night of the Comic, and I think if they have things to say, then they are worth listening to.
You're going
Thank
to
you.
personally vouch.
Yeah.
You're going to put your reputation on the line.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to do that?
This
No.
reflects on you.
I'm saying,
That's what vouch means.
I'm vouching
Regular Oscar the Vouch.
that. Yeah. I'm just saying
You're like
that.
a character witness. You're part of a true crime thing now.
Yeah.
Yep.
That if you listen to it, that they are coming from sincere places.
This is true.
You don't have to agree with them. If they didn't like it, then you don't have to.
And they're
agree
both
with them.
socially conscious people who aren't just going to be
Yeah.
like nasty. But we also talked about comic books. So.
I thought about
Because
trying
it's
to
Night
be,
of the Comic.
I thought about trying to be on that show with you guys.
You
'cause,
should've.
But I've sworn to myself, and I don't believe it would have been an argument. But I said I'm not going to talk Star Wars with nerds anymore.
We've had that conversation too, where we're like,
Yeah.
and I'm
just not going to do it.
I'm like, people
Not gonna
it can yuck my yum. It can ruin things for me if I get into it too much.
Well, I feel like people feel so strongly about it, and the way I feel about it is such a certain way that like what I have to say completely invalidates their stupid feelings, and so I feel like to argue with like I'm going to end up like actually pissing off and upsetting real friends.
Well, there's
because
that
they're
too,
so fucking invested in the goddamn Star Wars.
Yeah.
That if you say I like The Last Jedi, there are friends of mine who would be like, "What the?"
It's like saying you voted for Trump.
And then when I say it doesn't matter, and it does mean the same to me because I grew up with it too. I feel like people forget that because I'm so sort of.
You're so young.
Equanimical about it.
It's a dick swing contest.
It's like everybody's like, oh, you don't care enough. It doesn't mean the same to you. Bitch, Return of the Jedi is the second movie I remember seeing in the theater. Yes, it does.
So sit your ass down.
But I won't do it anymore. Yeah. But I wanted to. In spirit, because I wanted to talk about it.
He
thinks it, but he's not going to say it out loud.
Have you seen the video? It's like on YouTube. This guy is like, hey, this is me. I'm just enjoying my life without Star Wars. And it's him in the park and stuff. It's really funny.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. I've seen people put their lists, their ranking, the best Star Wars list.
Yeah, I mean,
but to put The Last Jedi below the prequels, that, I feel that's very disingenuous.
Oh yeah,
and you're trying to make a point. No, I feel like you don't really think those movies are better than Last Jedi. You just want to put The Last Jedi down further.
Dave would make that argument to you.
I think it's not an argument; it's a fact.
It's like
people who put
no. What I'm saying is, Dave would make the argument to you that all three prequels are better than The Last Jedi, and he'll reason it out with you, and he comes from a reasonable place with it.
Oh, I vouched for him.
It doesn't convince me. I still think The Last Jedi is a much better movie.
It's like Dave coming in my house and taking a shit immediately on the floor. It's a power move.
Oh, it's like they used to like Dave.
Oh wow,
poor guy. Oh,
see, Andy, you should have been there. You guys could have gotten into it.
We're not fighting about Star Wars here.
No,
we are love and light.
Love and light.
No, I feel like you can have your art, your
love.
Like what you like, but when there's no way that The Last Jedi is worse than The Phantom Menace.
I get you're talking about objective truth here, Andy.
No, that's even subjectively. I don't see how that's possible.
Is an objective truth.
What's that?
That Mike and I watched finally The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 10 reunion show, which we've been saving to watch together.
How long ago was season 10?
2 years ago. Okay. And we finally sat down and watched it.
We finally did.
As a family.
We did.
And boy, howdy.
It was a beautiful thing.
Now we can watch season 11.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Yeah. You get Nene and Kim in a room.
What?
Shit's popping.
Right.
Oh.
Mimi?
And it was fun because while we were watching it, Freddie was being a housewife.
Freddie was being a passive-aggressive housewife.
I was
vacuuming the living room while we're trying to watch this. Like, I'm sorry, this isn't about you right now.
Can we talk about what she did to me in the middle of vacuuming the living room?
Joke.
She electrocuted
you. It was not a joke. She's like, get us a couple more White Claws, honey.
All right, so we were watching Real Housewives and drinking White Claws.
She took a shit on you, Freddie.
She did a power move.
That was me shitting in the dining room.
Yeah.
And then I said I was kidding.
She said that after I made eye contact with her, and I was like, "The fuck." And she was like, "Oh, I fucked up."
It's like that meme with the Arthur fist.
Yeah.
Was that what Freddie was feeling like?
I guess. Passive-aggressive vacuuming.
Yeah.
What's an Arthur fist?
He's where he's clenching his fist. The little
Arthur. Right. Yeah. He's angry. I thought it was like an Occam's razor or a Schrodinger's cat. It's an Arthur's fist.
Shush you.
It's you know the thing. It's been a while because we were saying we had said we'd been a pact that until we watched that together we weren't going to move on in that. Yeah. And I said there's something very comforting about Real Housewives, anything, in that those problems seem so genuinely real problems to them, and they're just not real to.
It's cathartic.
Rich people problems.
Yeah, it's funny that the word "real" is even in the title.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Okay, now rank the seasons rank the Star Wars.
Yeah.
Any season that contains Kim is not a good season.
Which Real Housewives ruined the series?
I can only vouch for Beverly Hills and Atlanta.
The Last Housewife.
Yeah, which one's the Mary Sue? Is there a Mary Sue?
They try to retcon too much of Nini's past. She built 3CPO and it didn't play true for me.
People hate the Asian character.
Yeah,
for no reason.
Nini gives the best face.
She gets great
She
face.
is a good C-3PO.
And I just want everybody to know that Mike and I accomplished a goal last night.
We did.
As silly as it was, it was a goal we had for a long time.
It was.
And we did it.
And it was damn right delightful.
You finally high-fived.
We stuffed ourselves
Perfectly.
with Mexican food and tequila.
Oh my gosh, it was
And
so
then
good.
we came home to a power outage.
Yeah, we saw it when we came back from the precinct. We saw
Were you guys out too? Oh,
no.
we went to the precinct.
You're just like 2 blocks away and your power was on.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your trip to the precinct.
Oh.
It's a steakhouse,
What kind of steak did you hit?
Well, so my son Colin, today is his 20th birthday.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday, Colin.
And
Happy birthday.
He requested to go to
wanna
a
pick
real
up
nice
Colin?
restaurant for his birthday, so we took him to the precinct, Jeff Ruby's.
Did you do the bar or the other side?
The other side.
Yeah.
And we both got cowboy steaks, which are 22.
Yeehaw.
Yes.
Oh, so
22
good.
ounce bone-in ribeyes, rare. They're 45 days dry aged, delicious. I still have a little bit left of mine. And then we each got wedge salads. We got the fried pork belly, which was delicious.
That's good too.
All
The wedge
keto
salad,
friendly.
that's crazy,
The
bro.
wedge
Yeah,
salad's
the
really
wedge
good.
salad's really good.
And some asparagus. And
Yeah, their asparagus is the best asparagus you'll ever eat.
and we both got we basically got the exact same dinner, and we got the blackened scallops to go with our steak.
Damn. Yeah. You leave any food for anybody else? Shit.
I got a knee pillow.
Yeah, we went to bed because we were drunk and we had to walk it off. We went to Bed Bath & Beyond.
And Amy is correct. She does buy better when she's drunk.
Oh, yeah.
She does. She's like zero guilt.
I got a new pillow.
We were comparing bamboo pillows.
Yeah, you know how people go out, they get drunk and they're like, I can't believe I bought X. In order for Amy to just buy shit she even needs as a person, she has to get to that point.
I
She won't
needed a new
spend money.
pillow.
Yeah, I'm good for being along with the ride, but
Yeah.
I did get a nice knee pillow.
Yeah.
Like a serial
got
killer that
cooling.
has to get all drunk before they go out and murder. Like she has to get like real hammered before
Yeah.
she'll buy anything.
Yeah.
Like
gotta get
she'll
the
have
thirst.
a pillow that's like giving her like she'll get up in the morning and she's like I can't move or something and then I'll be like well maybe you should
Spot
get a new
on.
pillow and she's like I don't deserve it. I don't deserve a new pillow. I'm garbage.
Do you hate spending money, Amy?
She does.
Yeah.
She hates it.
Of course.
Hates it.
I love spending money.
It's life affirming.
It's what it's for.
I just want to have that money for all my Disneys.
Yeah, that's true. You got to have it.
And
for
then I'm
your
like,
stuff.
I don't need a pillow but they were 20% off. And I did not buy the Trump guy's
How much was
pillow.
it? $150?
My pillow.
It was $30.
Dude, they had a $180 pillow there.
I believe that. I just didn't believe that that's what she was buying.
Well, I was looking at the My Pillow, but that guy is a Trump supporter.
Oh.
But it was 20% off and it's supposed to be great. And people I know and love have that pillow.
don't know
I
what
have the
My Pillow
knockoff
is.
version. It's a bunch of interlocking foam that's all shredded up,
This is fascinating.
and you can shape it. and it'll hold its shape.
Yeah.
That's
But then
the whole
I found
point.
the bamboo pillow, which was $10 cheaper. And as far as I am aware, like on the Good Place, you find out that your points on Earth are you're failing because you don't know that the people who made your pillow are child sex slaves or something. And I'm gonna go to hell. But as far as I'm aware, they're not Trump supporters.
But then you got
and it was
checked.
$10 cheaper.
Yes, because then when we were at Meijer,
Yeah.
you realize that you got that actually $10 cheaper even than what Meijer was
Than
selling
what
it on
Meijer
sale.
had.
So it was like all the stars had
Guys.
aligned for you to have a pillow that night.
The universe is looking out for you. You should just
The universe
fill
was lined up.
your pillowcase with beans.
You should give a shout out to Brad here because he was the one who was trying to get you to buy a bamboo
The
pillow.
bamboo pillow. Yeah.
Like a year ago or more.
Yeah.
I remember that. We had that conversation on High Five Happy Hour.
Because he has
Yeah.
another kind of pillow.
Yes.
Which is why I said the thing just now about beans.
Fill your life with beans.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I can't because I can't eat them, but
You want the pillow to be a whole pillow to be made of beans?
he had some kind of pillow
He
with
had a bean
beans.
pillow.
Or it's like shells
Rocks.
or beans
Oh,
or
refried beans.
like dead bugs. There's something that you put in your pillowcase.
So
River
soft.
rock.
Yeah.
You want a pillow that's soft and warm and smells like
Magma.
GG's.
I understand that your pillow is important because you spend a lot of your life on it. But I'm not going to spend more than $30. That's ridiculous.
Can't just say something. Bean. Mr. Bean. Bean.
Gotta love them.
Yeah.
That was
But
the
I
table.
slept on my new pillow last night and it was great.
Oh,
Good.
So thank you, Margarita.
You did deserve
Thank you,
it.
India.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
It is.
Anything else at the top? Origins will be late. Just a heads up.
Yep, that's my fault, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's that old man that.
But you also
hit
got in
you.
a car accident, so
I did,
so you're excused.
but I was also going to say, but what are you going to do about it?
What are you
What are you gonna do about it? Sometimes that happens.
So
We have, and Jeremy, your shirt should be out to you soon.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, we got to do that. We'll do that after the show. We'll get one out of the box.
Yes, the small is on the way.
That's what you wanted, right? Extra small?
Extra small.
Child's large.
I want something where you can see my religion.
Is a child's large bigger than an extra small?
Depends.
Adult extra small?
Depends on the child.
Oh.
There's some big children
It
out
depends
there.
on if they spared the rod or not.
Andy's the only one that's appropriate with child sizing.
Yeah, he knows.
You know.
Well,
Because he can wear it. Not because he has children or...
thank God for husky children,
weird.
because as I'm getting fatter, the children in America are also getting fatter.
I'm gonna write a song called "Thank God for Husky Children." It's like that's gonna be like a Gary Glitter song.
Remember the Oingo Boingo song?
Little Girls.
Yeah, Little Girls.
My kids love that song.
It's just fucking weird, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't think about that in the 80s or anything. You're like,
Well,
yeah,
because
that song.
I don't know that they. You know, who knows?
And now it's like,
It's a different time.
What are you talking about over there?
Thank God I'm a husky child.
All right, that's a good enough place to move on, right? Husky kids?
Yeah, did you talk about Patreon?
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
In this boat, I see our future.
It's a 50-year-old catch and it needs work.
I thought this was something we could finally make ours. Something that could take us to a better place.
Yeah!
Mary has an imaginary friend now. I hear her talking to her all night. Don't play with scary Mary.
Mary! Something's very, very wrong here. I'm seeing things that I can't explain. Every time this ship went out onto open water, people disappeared. The thing about boats is there's nowhere to run. Dad! We should turn back.
We're too far to turn back.
You think you can erase the past?
I don't want to hear any more about curses.
Oh my God.
You thought you could bring your family to the sea. You and everything you love. It all belongs to her now.
Mary! Mary, come on! Mary!
Mary. So,
It sounded like that guy said, "I want something I can get at a McDonald's." At one point,
give me that filet fish. Give me that fish. I watched Mary for roulette. Before I get into this, Kelley made a good point. I don't know if we mentioned Patreon, patreon.com/NOTLP. That's where you can get that Night of the Comic, Origins, and all the other.
I wasn't trying to scold you. I just, I was trying to
Well,
think of everything
maybe-
that we normally do.
Why'd you strike me?
Well,
You did not spare the rod.
I struck you because it gave me
You
a
didn't get
boner.
a White Claw in
But
time.
I did not. I wasn't scolding you.
We're
But
all's forgiven then.
Wait, what did Mike say to me? What did you
Because
say?
you didn't get in the White Claw in time.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Gotta give that boy that ruby grapefruit.
I'm not.
White Claw.
I'm not. I'm not your go-getter.
All right, Freddie, tell us about your move.
That's what you should have said.
Now, if you follow reviews, you've probably seen that Mary is not getting good reviews. In fact, one might say she's getting mostly bad reviews.
Oh, Mary.
Mary.
That said,
Why
I would
you no
say
good?
it is very underrated. It doesn't deserve the shit it's getting. It's actually a pretty solid horror movie.
You're like, it's worth at least 2.75 stars as opposed to 1.
Yeah, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, which I don't normally do that, but I would give it a 6 or 7. Probably, no, well, maybe a 6. A 6. 7's too generous. But the reason it gets a 6 is obviously you have Gary Oldman, who is a great actor.
Gary's and Mary.
Even when he's delivering a questionable accent. He's like a master of accents, but sometimes when he's doing an American accent, and it could be that we're just so familiar with those accents that we hear the things that are flawed in it.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Jack of all accents, master of none.
Right.
His Chinese accent is horrible, though.
Oh, yeah, and those glasses that they made him wear for that.
Very offensive, too.
Yeah, they never should have remade that movie.
But his black accent is awesome. So good.
Yeah, it's like looking in a mirror. This is directed by Michael Goy, who did Megan is Missing, which is one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen.
I wish I had never seen that.
But it was super effective.
I honestly hate that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you hate it because it's too real?
Just because the way it made me feel.
Same.
Just like the Michael Jackson song. The way you make me feel.
Yeah.
It made me feel bad.
It was bad.
So that's a testament to that movie. I think the point of the movie is be scared of the internet. And it worked.
That's why we watch Web of Lies or Weebo Flies.
Weebo Flies.
And ID Discovery.
You learn.
And the point of this movie.
You learn.
Is be scared of boats.
Be scared of boats.
But this is set in Jacksonville, Florida.
Be scared of that for sure.
Another gold place? Good place.
What was the name of the quarterback that he loved so much?
Blake Bortles.
That's right, Bortles. So Jacksonville, you have the opening of this boat is burning. It's a sailboat. It's burning out on the water, and there's a lady there wrapped in a blanket on the shore watching it burn. And then you cut back to there's this interrogation room with Detective Clarkson. This is Jennifer Esposito, who you're gonna know her as playing other detectives.
Yeah, she's a detective.
She is always a detective, it seems. And Sarah, she's interviewing this person, the lady you see in the beginning, Sarah, Emily Mortimer's character.
Oh, yes. This has got a good cast.
It has a great cast. And
how'd this happen?
Because they got Gary Oldman. Everybody else was like, oh.
Yeah.
And no. I mean, how did they make such a... It feels like so under the radar for having a cast like this.
It is. It was not promoted well. I don't know why it is getting it's getting reviews that a terrible movie deserves, and it's not a terrible movie.
They're treating it like The Last Jedi.
Because I remember when you got this movie, Freddie, you had already were like, oh, I groaned. No, I don't want to watch this film.
And part of it might have been I had such low expectations, but it really, I feel like it delivered on a lot of the things that I look for in a horror film. So they have this interrogation, and Sarah's saying to the detective, I want to see my girls. Where are my kids? She goes, they're alive. They're okay. We'll let you see them, but you have to answer some questions.
Just kidding. They're all dead.
Why, you're eating them now. So you flash back to earlier, and you have the character David, who is Gary Oldman's character.
How great would it have been if it was Gary Goldman instead of Gary Oldman playing this role?
Originally, it was going to be Nicolas Cage.
Ah, well,
which makes sense.
Yeah, well, they want him for everything now.
Well, because also RLJE, I think, is the name of the company, the distributor who does this. For some reason, they work with him frequently. It seems like I don't know if they work with him or if they just acquire stuff he happened to be in. But it's just interesting that these same people keep turning up in these mid-level projects.
Yeah.
So he's a charter captain, and he's obviously an older guy, and he's a charter captain working on someone else's charter, which, if you don't know what a charter is, it's when you can rent a boat and you can take it out for the day and go fishing and whatever. It's for tourists in Jacksonville. So David wants to go into business for himself. He and his wife are monitoring these boat auctions, and she's like, hey, you gonna go check out this boat we were looking at, this outboard, whatever, kind of reasonably priced mid-range boat? He's like, yeah.
I like the setup.
It's a good setup, right?
Yeah.
They have 2 young daughters. One is a teenager and the other one's like a preteen. And there's like this domestic scene that's kind of that Spielberg-y feeling home kind of scene, very realistic.
Yeah.
And so she's with the kids, so he goes off to this auction by himself. And there he finds this salvaged sailboat, Mary. And one of his youngest daughter's name is Mary. Kind of sees that as a sign. The masthead of this is one of those carved like sirens, that you see so much of. And I got it. and they he's just kind of like seduced by this boat.
Yeah.
He's like, this is a piece of history. It's, it's from the 1800s. It's just needs some work.
It's like Arnie and Christine.
Yeah, it's very much like Christine.
Yeah.
This feels very Stephen King like kind of story.
That sounds cool.
So him and he decides to buy the boat without asking his wife, and he comes home. They have a kind of a blow up about the fact that he kind of made this big move, but they were planning on doing something like this anyway. Like, well, look, give it time. We'll figure it out. And then this is when they reveal that there's some trouble in their marriage, that she had cheated, and that they're trying to work through this, and this might be their fresh start, him starting this business with his younger business partner. And so he's like, look, we'll repair the ship. We'll take it out on this maiden voyage, and my partner will come along. Girls can come, and our older daughter's boyfriend Tommy can come. He's kind of taking this kid under his wing. He's kind of a troubled kid that he's teaching him the ropes about how to be a sailor,
how to set the mainsail, and
eat up all your corn.
The boom and
Eat up all the corn?
Eat up all your corn.
Sloop John B.
And am I missing anybody? And his business partner, they would come along. So you have the two kids, the parents, business partner, older daughter's boyfriend, Tommy. Set sail. They're out on the ocean. They get out into the middle of nowhere, and weird stuff starts happening, of course.
Are you going to spoil this? If you
No, I'm not going to spoil it. There are some
too late. You said weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you don't expect that at all. I liked it quite a bit. It's not a great movie. Again, it's like right in the middle, but it has so many effective moments in it, especially if you get points automatically when you film something out on the open sea for me. That's a great set piece. Mm-hmm. The fact that you're doing it on this sailboat.
Isolation is great for horror.
Yeah, and you populate it. The kids are great in it. So it has this really effective cast. There's a great transition from the second act to the third act of the story. That's very spooky. Had it been a book or a short story I was reading, it would have been a really chilling moment.
Yeah.
That I think people just aren't giving this movie the credit it deserves. Oh. So I recommend it.
Yeah,
it's on Hulu.
So why do you think what are people's criticisms about it?
I haven't read specific criticisms. I just looked at overall, like quality rating, scale of 1 to 10. So,
but
if I had to guess,
you were to guess, what were the criticisms about?
They would probably say it's just your basic ghost story. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's just about a classic kind of ghost story. The exposition piece is a little bit of a letdown because it is so well-trod territory that it's been done 100 times before. So it's really not about there being some moment where you're like, oh, that was clever. At no point does this movie feel like it's a clever movie. It's just a very basic ghost story, with a little bit of a like urban legend and myth kind of worked into it. So that's, I think, the problem people had with it, if I'm guessing.
Okay.
A good ghost story is a great ghost story. I mean, that's
There
are a lot of ghost story movies. There are a lot of boring ghost story movies too.
And this was interesting, and in the whole domestic situation was, the characters were likable. In that David, you kind of are rooting for him to make this work. And that, for me, is an important piece when you're telling, especially a horror story, that you kind of want to care. We said that 1,000 times. You want to care about the person in peril.
So the majority of this film was on the boat.
Yeah, almost the entire film is set on the boat.
On the boat.
Yeah, and there's one moment in particular.
Darling, it's better.
I always say, like with comedies, if you can make me laugh like 2 or 3 times throughout a comedy, laugh out loud.
Yeah, agreed. A lot. Yeah, even one
success.
laugh out loud sometimes is more,
right. Yeah. Then sometimes that's enough where you're like, remember that moment? Oh my god, I just laughed so hard. This movie has that spooky moment for me, where and it happens in that transition from second to third act. That it was just a really effective moment.
I love movies like that. That's, again, I keep bringing it up. That's how I felt about that RV movie. Like, it wasn't good necessarily, but it had enough spooky, and like there were things that kept you into it.
Yeah,
you were entertained.
There are things that made me slip into it.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to have that campfire story experience.
For sure.
That's what this was.
Well, let's crank it. Let's see who's gonna have a Jack in the Box surprise and be the choice for next week's reviewer. Let's see. Kelly's up first.
All right, let me put my hand on it.
You feel it?
Crank
Yeah, I'm gonna crank it now.
Is it hard, Kelly?
Crank it.
It's getting there.
No. How do I do that every time?
I don't know. You shuffle this?
I do. Boingo.
Oh, Oingo.
You get something that looks like an anthology film.
Oh.
It's called The Things That Haunt Us. It is on Prime.
Okay.
Amazon Prime.
So you decided against the Tyrannosaurus Poseidon Adventures thing?
You're welcome. I was joking, but it looked vaguely hilarious.
Sorry, what?
It was called Poseidon Rex.
Oh, that's right, Poseidon Rex.
And it looked like a Tyrannosaurus underwater.
Is he sailing a boat?
Yeah, they never should have let him.
Yeah.
Nature finds a way.
Is it a big boat or a tiny dinosaur?
Nature finds a way to a T-Rex piloting a sailing vessel? I don't think so. Chaos theory.
Things that haunt us: time demons, clones, witches, evil shadows, poltergeists, car safety, and cat people. We have it all. Some you'll love, some you'll hate, but cuddle up on a date and experience 7 vignettes brought together.
I like that they tell you some you will hate.
I know. I didn't read that part before.
The first marketers, listen up. Don't ever talk your product down. That's first day. Don't ever say you're going to hate any aspect of it. It doesn't work as anti-marketing. They probably think that they're going to think it's like we're cool, like we're being honest. No, don't be. We'll figure it out. You're going to be cuddled up with your date. You're going to experience 7 vignettes brought together by 7 teams to give you this cinematic experience. Enjoy the things that haunt us. You text me that?
Yo, bro. You bet your sweet Bippy.
Yeah.
He's got a sweet one,
it's
too.
So sweet, my
you
Bippy is.
You ever seen Kelly's Bippy?
I'll have to bring it over sometime.
Have I?
It is a real hunk of diaper meat. Yeah.
All right, y'all.
A
It'll give
real
you diabetes.
It could be.
Hunk of diaper meat.
All right, you ready to move on, my love?
It's an appetizing phrase.
Very. Diaper meat.
Yeah. The diaper meat.
Alexandra, come here. Listen, have you seen Cindy?
Cinderella. Looks like someone has a crush.
Cindy's back on the block?
Oh, yeah, she's back. She's back and she's going hard.
Merry Christmas, bitch. Woo! I got some good news to tell you about me and Chester.
I know what it is. You're breaking up with him. Thank God. I'm gonna be cheating on you like that.
Wait, what?
You didn't know?
White. Who is she?
Her name starts with a D.
Danny.
Desiree.
Destiny?
You're making me lose my game.
She's some white fish.
Chester, she know me with real fish?
Yeah, bitch, like a real fish. Girl, like vagina and everything. Girl, calm the fuck down. It's not that serious. I will go with you under one condition. You must promise me that there's not going to be any drama.
I promise.
Look at me in my eyes and promise.
I promise no drama, Alexandra.
Whoa! What the fuck?
Oh, boy.
Help me, officer! You didn't have to Chris Brown the bitch. What did you do to her?
Does your friend ever shut up?
No, that bitch been talking ever since I met her.
Why does he owe you money?
We made a business transaction. You're not even hard yet.
Fucking hard. That's hard.
Chester.
Since who's your man? Who's hot piece for you? Cindy, what do you see in him? Talk to me.
We've been out of jail for 24 hours. She's already causing drama. She called the police. The cops are coming. Come on, girl.
Out here, it is all about our hustle. And that's it.
This motherfucking girl thing.
So, you ever had pinkberry?
don't know that I ever have had pinkberry.
Yeah. This is Mike's pick, Tangerine. He just freshly picked this Tangerine for you.
Yeah, this is my pick, 2015 movie Tangerine. I remember there being a lot of buzz around this film when it originally came out. When I saw it, I really fell in love with this movie on my first watch because there's something so like 90s about it.
Reminded me of Go.
Yeah,
me too. I thought the same thing.
But
because that takes place on Christmas too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And it does. It feels like those kinds of pulpy movies. But I think what I love about this film is that the characters in it, like those two main stars of this film are transgender actors they're transgender actresses playing prostitutes.
To be fair, I call lady actors actors.
That's
as well.
true. I don't know why I did
separate.
that. I apologize. That wasn't really necessary.
Pronouns might get complicated in this episode, so
Yeah.
I'll just apologize it from. Try my best. Transgender actresses, prostitutes who are in this film, but one of the least. It's that is just who they are. And it's the people that are interesting in this. Like I think, and if had this film been actually done in the 90s, this would have been a film about some kind of gay storyline.
There would have been a lot more artifice to it.
There would have been a lot of those pieces to it. And this, it's just that these are people, and you're exploring their lives and this journey that they're going on. It's really a buddy movie through the whole thing, and it's just who they are. And I think at that time that I was watching it, even me going through my own journey with, my sexuality and all those pieces, it was just nice to see like a gay LGBTQ plus movie that isn't the interesting thing. It's just a good quality film. And that you're just compelled to watch, and it's fun. This is a really, really fun.
It's very much like the Warriors kind of thing, or like you were saying, Go, like where it's a chase movie.
It is a chase movie. So the film opens. It's Christmas Eve with these two best friends. Cinderella has just gotten out of jail, and she's with her best friend Alexandria. And they're splitting a donut because Cindy has $2 to her name.
Donut time!
And she's about to tell her, the whole premise of the film, and it literally opens this way. She's about to tell her good news, or Cinderella's about to tell Alexandra good news about Chester. And Alexandria basically jumps right in and says, I know what it is. You're breaking up with him because he's cheating on you with everybody. And that spins this whole thing. So basically, Cinderella's second she's out of jail she is on the hunt to beat up Chester, and then later changes her mind that she's going to take down the fresh fish, which is what they use, the term they use to say a real woman.
Biological.
A biological woman. You mean vagina and everything.
Yeah, and everything.
And that's where this whole thing goes. And as it's going, you get that kind of also that 90s archetype of these multiple stories that are all intertwining. Also played by a Armenian taxi driver who
he was really good.
He
was really good,
phenomenal in this film. Who was going around, and
I felt bad for that dude.
I did too.
Yes.
He ended up taking everybody gets the shaft in just by life in this.
Literally.
They make bad choices.
Chester makes out okay.
It's the stuff that I love about this film. So a film that now does not hold up for me at all, not just because I'm in a totally different space with Kevin Spacey, but American Beauty.
Oh yeah,
I loved American Beauty in the 90s when I watched it, and I think like the thing I really took away, I ended up going to a Christian college where I did like a film study of American Beauty, and I remember like what drove me so crazy about the hits I was getting for that movie is how like everybody was really pissed off that I wanted them to watch this movie. And I'm like, what the idea of this movie is that at any given moment of any of our lives, taken out of context, we could look like horrible people or we could look like heroes. It's just when something's taken out of context, you have to take the whole picture of the person. And so I think that's what's the really great thing about this movie is like any one of the moments or every one of these characters in this is just such a complex character where they have these awful, awful moments and then they have these real like heartfelt, heart-led moments. And that's what I really love about Tangerine.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
To your point of what you're saying about it just being, this is just their lives and there's no I appreciated that too. That like even though again they're transgender, they're prostitutes. There's all kinds of directions that, and I agree with you 100% that I think in the 90s, like American Beauty would have taken this and made it all about that.
Right.
Whereas that's just facts about them. It's almost like their character sheet in D&D. Like these are all their stats. They're
not
transgenders.
reduced
They're
to just
prostitutes.
being those things.
But then then you learn about them as people, and that's just like things on their sheet, like those are facts about them, but this is who they are.
Right.
And it was, and I'm going to jump to the end just for a second, just to say, like, Colin, we watched this, and he said, "Oh, it's kind of a bleak ending." I said, I don't think it is, because this is their life every day. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you want to say their whole world is kind of bleak, but that ending, and we'll get to it, I'm sure eventually, to me was like a very sweet, like it went out on again, just a moment in their lives that was positive, where they could find common ground and love each other. It was just, I thought that was a great ending.
Their
At least
relationship,
they found each other in the end.
Yeah, it's a lot like Millie and Elsa's
right now.
Yeah.
But great, just,
where Millie's like, you can wear my wig.
Like nothing that no one's sexuality. I mean, it matters in that they're a person, but like it doesn't matter to the story. Like everyone is just everyone in this world.
Well,
together.
they protect each other's dignity, the two of them. Like when it comes to Alexandra singing, and in a way, she kind of like she makes a point to be there for her, to see her perform. And then on the flip side, that ending that's so great with after someone has thrown piss on her. She gives her wig while they're waiting, in the laundromat.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the moment too is like one of the things I also love about this film is even though that's not the most interesting thing about them, whether that's transgender, prostitute, gay, straight, whatever, is that you're also getting kind of a glimpse into those lives. I don't know about anybody else in this room. I think this was everybody else's first time watching this film.
Yeah.
Did you learn something?
Yeah.
Did you learn like some new like how some of these deals go down, like some of the vocabulary that's used in this film? It's just a way of like making those people more interesting, because you're learning like a piece of
the car wash trick was great. That's a good takeaway.
It's just a whole different world you get like introduced to. It's a great world building too. I mean, again, it's this whole little. Yeah,
when they went to the mountains of Kadathar to get the dagger, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
But then I had so many questions about like who the bounty hunter was, like what his story was.
I get so mad when women find out their significant other is cheating on them, and they want to go after the woman or man.
Right.
Yeah.
In that case, and it's like, no, she was right. Go get Chester.
Just dump him
and get rid of that motherfucker.
You don't have to go get him. Like that was the thing. Is
just
like
leave it be. Well, then I was
But
thinking,
in this world, it makes perfect sense what happened. Like everything that happened makes perfect sense.
because
that's right.
These are people that have been marginalized.
But he's a pimp, and like he has his power over her, regardless of
he kind of does
what he's doing.
He offers her
love,
as shitty as that love is. If you've been marginalized your entire life by society, anybody who offers you a little bit of acceptance, they're gonna earn that loyalty from you. But
that's how we got here,
right? What?
Remember when I found you?
Remember he was your pimp and
he
everything?
turned you out.
Yeah.
He put you on the street.
But now,
Greenland.
You were the bottom bitch.
But now we're,
Well, and you think about that. There's like she has had this. She's in jail, and you later find out in the climax of the film part of the reason why she's in jail is because she took the rap for something Chester had done.
Yeah.
So she's in jail. She's spending this time. She comes back, and she, in her mind, has built this whole thing about like we're getting married. And then you find out in the climax film that he had literally had asked to they gotten engaged right before she went to jail.
Tattooed her name on his chest.
Now, her best friend, I'm sure Maya is going, like, you see this big eye roll moment with her, because it's like, oh, he asked you to get engaged and then says hold the drugs and go to jail for 28 days. So she does, this is her rage movie, and she is on her quest to take down.
He needs to be punished for it. He just doesn't really get it.
He does. But
they did fuck his shit up at the donut time, which is where he likes to do his business.
Right.
This is another thing I love about this movie, and I wish more movies did. There's no morality judgment.
Right.
Like, it's not about there's no comeuppance. There's no, I hate that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't always have to pay for your foibles and flaws.
Exactly. I love that this is just these people and who they are and what they did and how they relate.
Right.
Like, I fucking love that.
And one of my these two friends are going through their journey, there is a moment where they're kind of split. I mean, this is really truly a hero's journey story, and they're meeting different characters along the way that kind of push them in different directions. They come back together when the friendship happens, because you heard the only thing that's really important for Alexandria is this: she's doing a performance, she's doing a show. At 7 p.m. and she's telling all of her friends, but the one that it really matters that's there is Cindy.
Yeah.
And so Cindy has, at that time in her journey, as Alexandria is coming to do her performance, Cindy has literally found the girl, the fish, that's been cheating with Chester.
It is literally like you were saying, the hero's journey, the Joseph Campbell stuff. Like literally this moment that you're about to talk about is the cave.
Yes.
And like the going in to fight the dragon thing.
She does, because she finds her in this.
It's a super badass moment when she fucking busts in the door.
She does.
Oh, at that hotel. Mike's like, we're never staying at a hotel that has a sign out front that says we refuse service to prostitutes.
Did you notice who it was in the shower?
Who was that?
John Gulager, the director of Feast.
I knew it. You know who I thought it was? Because he was in the cab too, right?
Well, that was his dad. That's Clue.
Oh, Clue Gulager. Yeah, I knew it was Clue Gulager. For some reason,
Clue Gulager.
I got him mixed up with Herschel, Justin.
Scott Wilson.
Scott Wilson,
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace.
Yeah. That's who I thought it was. It wasn't. Alise is not Herschel. That's Clue Gulager.
There we go. Googler. So she has gotten clues and tips from these different characters that she's meeting along the way that lead her to this hotel, this rundown hotel. And in this one room, there are a lot of prostitutes and one, I don't know if you call it like a house mother or what.
We used to have that situation directly across the street from us.
Oh, yeah?
The madam.
Briefly. Yeah.
Briefly.
And Freddie said it was like a haunted house. So you just keep going through this hotel room and more prostitutes are having sex with just unfortunate looking men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of unfortunate naked. That is a very graphic.
I think they're just real.
It's
looking.
real.
They're not unfortunate. Maybe people could say the same thing about us.
I agree.
Authentic?
It was just
I am very fortunate looking.
I think
it was just very real.
It's not the people so much as that the situation that they're in, and they're all very naked.
Well, their eyes at getting busted, like as having someone walk in, everybody's just sort of like, whoa!
The thing is, this looks like your typical accounting department from like a 1983 Chevy dealership.
Yeah.
Like it's those guys. Like they're all post middle age. They're all like a very particular type.
Yeah.
That they cast
white
in
dudes.
These roles. White dudes.
I truly don't judge men for going to sex workers. That's fine. I don't judge people for doing that.
Right.
As long as you are making good choices in the way you're living your life around that need. I don't think these men were making good choices.
But here's the thing about the scene: it could be, it could be played as comical, but I just felt sad more than anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was super sad.
Like, there were like some comical moments, like you're just,
that skinny dude's wiener flopping around.
And they just kept going about their business, and they wanted a refund. But the fact that there's
a freebie,
buy
one get one.
The fact that these just regular looking men are all in this grimy. Hotel room, and they're just doing their business while other people are going on.
Yeah,
at the same time.
That's how lonely their life is.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's why it could have been played very sad. Comical, but I felt like just very. These poor men on Christmas Eve of all days.
Yeah.
And they just want this connection.
And it gets ruined.
Yeah. In a way. But
Did anybody tell the guy at the front desk? Because I thought you refused service to prostitutes. And this feels like
that's the whole I need tickets sign that you see down outside the stadium.
Okay. Well, and I think that this is like a tribute to the director here. This film, one of the things very unique to his film is the whole film was filmed on iPhones.
Series 5, no less.
Series 5S iPhones.
Yeah.
With like great filters and lenses, but that was all done on iPhones. And in this film,
$8 app.
It is both, you are laughing. It's one of those horrific but funny kind of moments.
I have it.
Yes. It's one of those horrific but funny kind of moments where, yes, there's dongs everywhere, there's boobs everywhere, but you keep turning, you're very disoriented by the time you get to
this. It was a big hotel room if you think about it.
Haunted house is a very good way to describe it. Like, it felt like that.
But to what Andy is saying, like, when you reflect on the fact that not only, like, are these, yes, they're having people are having a connection on Christmas Eve in a place where you wouldn't want to have sex in this place. Like, you just wouldn't.
Not on any day.
But they are having a human connection, and it's Christmas Eve. But you also have to, like, realize, like, those people, those sex workers are also living there. This is their home that you're in. So it's like this. Yeah, it's funny and it's sad all at the same time. It's the complicated part of life. One of the
That's
things
what makes
I love
it a great movie.
agreed. This show puts on display. So that's when she gets the real girl. Dinah, who Chester has been sleeping with.
When she said there's no Dana here, did you also
I did.
say,
I was waiting for, I said it in my head.
Yeah.
There's only Zool. Yeah.
And proceeds to drag this girl.
Who the fuck is Zool?
It's Chester fucking Zool too. Oh man, she beats her ass up. She's whipping. It was really real.
It was really real.
And there was a point where she's pulling her onto the bus. And like that girl falls and like trips and she's just wearing a tank top and little shorts and one flip flop. I'm like, this actress just like seriously just skinned her knees.
Yeah. Here's the thing that was interesting about this movie for me. Like, the people around them, they're probably just regular people, and they're unfazed by anything going on.
Right.
Yeah, like you didn't feel like they were acting.
No,
right?
I think they were just background people that just happened to be caught on camera. And they're unfazed by all this stuff that's happening. And that is another sad reality that is the everyday life.
Right. Because they filmed it.
Area.
Yeah. On, what is it?
West Hollywood.
Yeah. There's a specific
very
intersection.
LA movie too. Yeah.
Which is Santa Monica. And
Highland maybe?
Yeah. Santa Monica and Highland, which we were in that area.
Yeah. They were really close to the Walk of Fame, actually.
Yeah.
And it's just sad that.
Well, remember we walked that, and after a while, it got real.
Yeah, we're like, this is getting depressing.
I need to turn around.
But not just for the prostitutes and the drug addicts that live this life, the people that work and frequent the area. That's everyday life for them too, and they're just see this girl just dragged down the street, and they're just like, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And at one point, the girl's like, thanks for helping, motherfucker.
Right.
And like the guy, they just walk by the guy. And he's just like, another Monday. Probably.
You know what was even more heartbreaking for me than that moment, Andy, is the one where she goes to interrogate the people on the food line.
Yeah,
these are homeless people trying to get food.
In my opinion, this is her worst moment.
Yeah, it definitely is.
That's the thing. Like Mike was saying, these characters aren't necessarily likable.
Right.
Yeah,
but that's what makes them human.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what the movie gives them. It gives them humanity. They're not just these archetypes.
Right.
Yeah. And then, but the moment where she smacks the plate of food out of the guy's hand after he's waited in that line.
It was like somebody
for
saying
no
about a hot
too.
meal.
I thought the same thing, Amy. That scene from The Simpsons where he's clutching his hat.
But
do you remember that?
What?
They lure a hobo to kill him on The Simpsons
to eat him.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember that.
He shows up at the school and he's like, did somebody say something about a hot meal?
Oh, I do remember
he's
that.
holding his hat.
It was just the most sad. And
But
then,
it's like heartbreaking.
But there was no reason for her to knock the food out of her
really
hand
wasn't.
either. And that's what makes it even worse.
Right. And it's the thing I know I've
she
told
doesn't
you this
cope
before.
with her anger
Andy.
well.
It's like my worst, when I think, I've told you this before too, like the idea of some like kid with a lunch tray headed to the table, like the worst thing I can imagine is just swatting that tray out of their hands and them not getting to eat.
Right.
Like, and then that happened in this movie, and I'm like, that is the thing that when I think of like the darkest part of my soul, that's the thing that I think about.
But if you think about like this, and maybe this applies to this film a little bit, like what, to me, the interpretation I get, the darkest moment is the humiliation of having someone smack the food out of your hand. In this situation, it's literally that is his Christmas Eve meal that she has just taken from him after he's done, actually helped her.
Yeah, which he did what she asked.
Right. It's a truly, I do think, even though she is dragging this girl through, that to me is her darkest moment, because it's like, this didn't need to happen. But you also realize that she is full blast rage. Mm-hmm. And she's getting ready to I think she's getting ready to dip back into the drugs and all of that.
I mean,
I'm probably not super stable at any given time.
She's not.
It's clear she doesn't have a lot of support and what's the other word I'm looking for? Does anybody know? Healthy relationships.
Right.
She clearly doesn't have a lot of money. She just got out of jail. Like life isn't,
Right, and she
had $2.
Well.
$2. One for the bus, $2. One for a donut.
Yeah.
And for her, something literally in her hero's journey, one of the things that she says to these other like friends that are on the street she's running into, and they're all telling her like, calm down or whatever. It's not that big a deal. She's like, they're one of the people say to her, you're going to end up back in jail. And she's like, do you think that's so bad? That's not bad. And so like, really,
it should be bad.
No, I mean, I grew up with guys like this that.
Yeah.
It's like Ricky on Trailer Park Boys. He loves jail.
Oh, really? I still haven't really watched that show.
Oh my God, I think you'd love it.
I know. I tried, and I need to go back and give it another shot. But I grew up with guys that, especially one of them, his goal was to go so much that he would become institutionally disabled, so he could just stay in prison the rest of his life because they took care of his basic needs, and he couldn't function outside of jail.
3 hots and a cat.
Yeah.
Which is sad, and so that it kind of gives you some understanding on like on that hero's journey, like what did it end up being the most important thing was love. Mm-hmm. That is bottom line as this movie comes to a climax. Literally, and this, you can't talk again. I know we hate this pretentious word, but L.A. this area is is a character of this film.
That's what. Yeah, I say this. I mean, this is such an L.A. movie.
It is, and you're seeing these like spots that you start actually kind of becoming accustomed to this area, the donut shop, the pawn shop, these places that they're visiting along the way, and it all comes to a head in the donut shop at the end because Cinderella takes her journey to bring back to her love the dragon's head, which is this, is it or did you not sleep with this woman, this real woman? And she comes in and talks to Chester, and she's not buying what Chester is throwing down. And she asks Chester the question, did you get me a Christmas present? And Chester is like, he's fumbling around with that question. And she goes, well, I got you one, walks around the corner, brings this girl in, and then it's on again, which this movie does go to 11 at multiple points, but this donut scene is...
The beauty of this scene, too, is it gives that character, Dana... Is that right?
Dinah.
It gives Dinah. Yeah, there's no Dana. It gives Dinah a chance to transition from being this victim character who's dragged along in this journey to becoming an ally to Cinderella.
Right.
Where they bond over smoking crack together in the bathroom, to becoming her Salacious Crumb kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she's becomes that bystander heckler character.
Yeah.
Who is just escalating things.
Yeah. She is, but I could also make an argument for her being a really tragic. She has a tragic journey in this film.
Oh, yeah. Because the way
I could argue that her life is tragic.
It's tragic, but she
broke my heart at the end.
She's in her one glass slipper, being dragged around by Cinderella, and at one point
I didn't even get any of that till right now.
Yeah.
Cinderella, one flippity flop.
One flippity flop. She loses her shoe while falling into this. I don't know. She lost it in the. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So she does lose her shoe. She's being pulled around all of LA, and she actually kind of bonds over smoking crack with these two girls who truly are friends.
Yeah. Except the one, we should point out Alexandra.
No crack
for her.
Yeah, and she can't believe her bestie is doing this again. Yeah. But the real girl pulls out so sweet moment. They do all come together. She decides, I'm not going to take you directly to your pimp, so we can have this confrontation. I'm supposed to be at 7:00. I'm supposed to be at Hamburger Mary's to see my best friend.
Oh, was it Hamburger Mary's?
I think so. You see some.
They just kept saying Mary's.
Yeah, Mary's at 7. Mary's at 7. So it's a Hamburger Mary's, and she's going to perform, which is an awesome scene. And they're in the bathroom before the whole thing gets started, and her friend is going to help. Cinderella's going to help Alexandria look better. She's going to basically primp her and get her ready for the stage or whatnot. And then the real girl who's sitting there, I can't remember her name.
Biological female.
Biological female. Dinah.
She's in the kitchen with somebody.
Pulls out a crack rock because she sees that Cinderella has the pipe, and together they can have this bond. And then Cinderella tells Alexandria, it's beat
You know
your
what to
face.
do.
You know what to do.
They should have played that Melanie roller skate song then.
Yeah.
But like that to me is Dinah's like moment, because even though it is over a crack rock, and in that part of it obviously is incredibly sad, is that she gets to see like two actual genuine connected people having a relationship, and she kind of loves it. And you see at the end of the film, after the whole climax and you're all kind of getting this resolve, it's like I think she genuinely misses her friends.
Yeah.
Even though this girl has like beat her butt and pulled her all the way across.
You know what I thought was a real tender moment is when she's done using the bathroom and she uses that white girl's hair as a towel to wipe her hands.
To wipe.
It was a very tender moment.
Yes, that's her tender moment.
That was really funny.
Yeah. So
you kind of want to do that now, Andy. You want to add that to your throw a drink on somebody?
I don't repertoire.
That's even too low for me.
Wipe my piss hands on your hair.
Well, if I were to do it, it would be after pooping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and here's a question for you. So
And it would be on Ivanka Trump's hair.
Oh, I love your highlights.
It'll be on her face.
Oh, there's shit. Ooh. Gross.
well, and that kind of karma does kind of come back to her on that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, that's true.
she's there. She performs a song. She performs "Babes in Toyland," which I think is an obvious choice.
What I like about this scene is that the fact that she wasn't actually very good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that just made her more believable.
Yeah.
The scene, because it keeps building up to this. I got to perform. You think it's going to be this big moment, but
It's very understated.
She's not very good. And the fact that she had to pay to perform.
Yeah.
it's
nobody
sad.
really showed up.
Yeah,
Other than
but it just
Cindy.
shows that these people have dreams and aspirations, and that's kind of what makes me really sad about LA. Is kind
It's
of
a beautiful lie.
yeah, it's like these delusions. That's
Agree
what
to
makes me the
disagree.
saddest
Yeah.
part of being in LA.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, I have that argument about LA too. LA to me is like one of those places like Vegas. I can be there for a couple of days,
It's
but
a
then
sad
I'm
place.
like, it gets
the same thing with
It's not
Vegas.
for me.
It's not like that for you, or it is
No,
like that.
it's not for me. I don't
Yeah.
like LA.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like when I'm in a casino, I feel gross. I don't like Vegas. I don't like.
Right.
I had a blast in both LA and Vegas.
Well,
I can enjoy them at the beginning. I really genuinely do. But then
only
there's
so long.
I couldn't live there.
Yeah.
Either case, I couldn't live there.
It's not
But-
real.
right.
But
The parts that are real are
but it
these
is.
sad places.
There is like a reality. It's just not our reality.
Right.
I think it is. There is a reality there. Like, and now like I used to have that. I felt like I had a real wrong impression of what that city was before we visited, and then after, I'm kind of like, this city. It's that whole thing of like, you're going to bring yourself there. Whoever you are, you're going to bring yourself with you, right? Like,
Yeah.
So for us, we don't have any interest in being actors or being in the film industry, right? So like, to us, we're not going there to try to like do that, but to go there and look at it as like somebody who just is into the filmmaking process and all that, like it's kind of magical still for me, even though I know it's sleazy and blah, 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 but like,
I like the idea of LA, but after seeing the reality of it and seeing like, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, basically.
yeah, but there's also people who live there who are making great stuff, like Tangerine,
said,
for instance. They made this movie. That's really amazing. Like you could see.
No, I want those people who want those things to love and enjoy LA.
Right.
It's not for me.
Right. No, what I'm saying is the criticism of it is the blank. To me, I no longer buy into the blanket toxicity, the toxic label of LA as a toxic place. I think it's the people there. You can make it one way or the other. You can make it toxic by waiting for this, which doesn't hardly even exist anymore, the big studio system that like help them and then you're going to be manipulated by people with power, like the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. And that's all notorious. Like what we imagine LA to be is people with power manipulating the powerless and, promising them like wish fulfillment.
Everything there.
Well, I think it's changing. I do think like the people, the indie filmmakers and stuff who live there every day, who are just a working class kind of people, are starting to get a little more power.
Right. Well, I would also say like part of another reason I love this film is it definitely gets you calibrated to LA a little bit, and seeing like how Amy and I are having that reaction, or saying about that reaction of like not really wanting to stay there. for a long period of time. It's that calibration of the energy. Like we know in Cincinnati, if a sex worker was dragging a white female down the street, that there would be police involved pretty darn quickly in most areas. And we're kind of calibrate. Well, maybe
there might be parts of like,
but it would be different, I guess is what I'm saying. It's the energy of the different place. And I think like what I love about this film is like, it is a hard life, period.
Yeah.
And how many, everybody at this table can say it is a hard life, period. But what makes you get through the hard life is the connection, the love,
the support structure you put around you,
the people. So what makes like, there's an awesome moment at the end of the film where I haven't done a really good telling of the through line, but there as the climax is coming, the taxi driver who's sleeping with some of these sex worker, Resnick, his mother-in-law is going to bust him. And she has decided she knows something's wrong. She's going to find him. She's trying to case with this other taxi driver, like, help me find him.
And you know what's funny about this? I feel like I'm in this divide. I feel like in the movie, and there are people who would say, like, to me, she's the big piece of shit in that situation.
I'm not sympathetic at all towards the mother-in-law.
And I'm sure a lot of people would disagree and say, well, you know, he's doing whatever. But like,
that wasn't her place to do any of that.
In this reality, to me, she felt like the fucking villain there.
Right. I think that was I get that impression from the filmmaker too, that the setup is
like, I would have rather Resnick or whatever would have not. But I put himself in these positions and been more honest and figured something else out.
But it's not very easy to do that when you have a family.
Yeah, I understand her motivations behind it too.
Yeah,
that's what that's everybody in this movie.
Well, it is complex. Agreed.
It is complex.
It's a complex.
Like, there's no real villain. It's a gray movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too.
There's no black and white. There's no like this is the hero. This is the villain. Even Chester has his little moments.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, even though she's like, you know, ratted him out and everything, you don't know why his motivations for doing this.
Yeah, they feel real.
You can understand her motivations too. So I don't think anybody is necessarily a villain in this scenario.
Can we talk about
I just hate a snoop more than somebody who, you know.
Yeah, the I was gonna say, like, their scene at home with his family is something I think is really kind of speaks to that. I think his wife knew.
Well, she's definitely suspected.
Right, but like the whole theme
and just wanted her mom to leave it alone.
He's the only man at home. He's surrounded by women. Mm-hmm. He's taking care of his family. His mother-in-law is very much like assimilate.
Right.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is not only not assimilating with American, conventional wisdom culture. Like, he's also not. Like, there's universal things that she's like, you're going to work on Christmas Eve.
Right.
We're Americans now. Two.
No, actually, she was using that as like a dig to him. But you're an American, so you shouldn't work. They don't celebrate Christmas at the same time, right?
It's a different day.
It's a different time.
Well, I thought she was saying he should be home with his family. I didn't read that as a dig.
Yeah. But when he said he has to go work on Christmas Eve, she's like, but we're American. I thought you speak English and you're an American.
See, that's funny. That played different for me.
Yeah, you should be at home.
Yeah, she was trying to get him to stay.
Yeah.
No, I got that. She was trying to get him to stay, but I thought she was really like saying like we're assimilating. Like,
no, she doesn't even speak English.
Yeah, I know she doesn't.
She's the one that's not assimilating. She wants the more traditional things.
Yeah.
But in that moment,
that's
she was
funny
using
that I read that completely different.
And the context of why she's there is probably partial. I don't know the culture all that well, but to understand, like, you can tell there's she's very happy to be there, but she's there so that the wife can also go out and get a job. And so she's there basically to take care of their daughter, which I feel like there's some
like traditional family taking care of each other,
Yeah. But it's like, but we also find out later when the climax happens, she's looking at his bank statements.
Yeah.
So she's doing some things.
Andy, also, she doesn't like dogs. So that's a villain check mark.
That is definitely a red flag.
But I do think, and
I'm coming around on that.
People that don't like dogs?
It's okay not to like dogs.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's
not.
It
speaks to your character.
Incorrect.
The
people like what they like. It's fine.
Like what they like. And that, speaking of that, you're coming to the conclusion, and I think what she does for Resnick and his wife is actually somewhat of a gift.
Yeah.
Because, and you see that in the gift, like originally on my initial viewing of this, I'm like, what a horrible, as someone who's not out 100%, me, I'm not out 100% in all aspects of my life, but I'm with my friends and the people that I care about. The people in the donut shop when this climax is happening and truth is being told, like, I almost feel like they all know he's getting a gift because, like, at least it's out there now.
Yeah, it's almost like they're egging it on.
Right.
Like they're trying to like really put it out there that this is who he is.
This is who he is. And what a beautiful thing to have happen when his wife is not like, I hate you, I'm leaving you, but she's like, she basically, she doesn't specifically say, I know, but you kind of get the feeling that she does.
She's like, he has needs.
He has needs.
He's a person. His needs should be fulfilled.
Yeah.
And we
tells
have
her
an
mom
understanding.
that,
right.
And she's the one that should fuck off.
Right. And you hear like in the with the taxi cab driver that's driving the mother-in-law around, when she's having her like, LA is this fake wrapped in gift wrapper faked thing that I don't like. And he says, agree to disagree. He's taking her to Resnick to do this because he says like he can't dignify. Yeah. If he can't have dignity for himself, then at least he can have dignity for his family. Right. And now, whether or not that's a loaded statement on like he doesn't have dignity for himself. I know he's gay and he's sleeping with transgendered women. I don't know, or whether it's just that he's actually doing this, stepping out, because he is stepping out of the family. No, and that's what I'm going to make an argument for that's right or wrong. But what I'm going to say is that the gay part of it, or the bisexual, or whatever, it's out there.
Yeah,
and I think that the wife is so like, just it almost to me feels understanding, and even after like the prostitutes are telling her she's got a bad haircut, she's just like, we just take my baby and get out of here and go home.
Yeah.
And it's like, that to me is just a really beautiful gift because it's not like, I'm leaving you, don't come home, I don't ever want to see you again, you're never going to see your daughter again, it's that at your worst freaking moment when all of your shit is put on Front Street, and this just incredibly unbelievable moment of our lives, let's just go home.
Yeah.
See, and I didn't see it that way.
Okay, how did you see it?
Yeah,
I didn't see it as understanding. I saw it as more, I have been conditioned.
Okay.
My husband, my child, me, we live together. We have a home. I am married. I have a kid. I don't get divorced or something like that because it seems like she has a very traditional family.
Right.
I don't know. I would rather it be your thing.
Right.
But it read a little bit like, he is my husband. I am beholden to him. Mm-hmm. Whatever he does, it's fine. None of your business, Mom. Let's just go home.
And also, just to get out of this awkward situation, you're just gonna you're regardless of what what you think about that situation, you don't want that in public.
Right. Yeah. You just want this to end,
and you don't want that happening around your daughter.
Well, see now,
and you just want to get home and get it over with.
Exactly.
Handle it in private. So, I took it as like just stay out of it. Let's just handle this another time. Like I kind of know what's going on. Like. And she's in the situation where he's the breadwinner.
Exactly.
And she doesn't have a job and she's in this country, that she doesn't know, kind of.
Right.
So like she's kind of in the situation. Yeah, I felt sad for her too because you don't know
of course,
how she feels about it too, because she'd just be going along with the ride, or she could actually love him and everything.
Right.
Yeah,
and it seems like they do in the house during the dinner moment, because he basically turns to her at one point and says, "I have to leave. I'm going back to work," which we all know what he's getting ready to do. Well, actually, he wants to go out and see the performance, but he also knows he wants to go to the performance because he knows he didn't know Cindy was out of jail, and
he's got a little crushy
got a crush on her.
Yeah,
but he's going to that, and everyone's sitting and having this Christmas Eve dinner together, and he's supposed to be pouring like the cognac, and he's just like, I don't want to hear any more of this. I please deal with your mother. And it just seems like they do have a loving relationship.
No,
she's not she again is kind of a tragic character.
And that's what, like, I kind of take, I didn't read it as her being beholden to him in terms of some traditional, like, I have to be this. I felt like it was more like what Andy was saying to an extent, sort of a combo of he's the only one working, and there's a house full of people and a dog and a baby, and it's like, I can't afford to split up. I kind of know what's going on. I care about him. I'm not going to make an issue out of this. We're just going to keep it all under the carpet. I know something's going on. But you don't need to throw this out there, Mom. And now I have to face it. But I think it was sort of a combination of all of that.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I also love that thing. I think that helps her in that moment is Resnick. The only thing he is concerned with when she shows up, like, he's already just like dealing with a lot of people saying all of these things around him, screaming. It's a big scene, but like he can't believe that his daughter is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, why
and
would
it's
you do
like
that?
it's not only that, but it's like this whole, again, you've literally brought the most important person in my life to a dangerous thing. Like, and I think she kind of catches that, like, yeah, I didn't know what I was coming to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mother-in-law tells me to come here and see this truce, but literally I have taken my daughter to around, pimps and drug addicts and prostitutes in this donut shop. And it's like, why would you do that?
Pimps
and now we've got to go back home and get it.
Oh my.
So I love that. I love that scene. So.
That whole climax in the donut shop is amazing to me. And what I also love, again, it still goes back and speaks to that idea of this just being no one is getting any kind of moral judgment one or the other. No one also gets let off the hook at all. Like, I mean, in a 90s movie, Resnick kind of coming to grips with his sexuality or like having it exposed there, I feel like there would be some kind of like story played into it where like everybody's just kind of like the group of sex workers are just kind of like not laughing at him, but it's kind of like, that's your shit, bro. Mm-hmm. And everybody, this is just, again, it's just their life. That's kind of what kept clanging in my head. It's just like, this is their fucking life.
Right.
And he's not getting let off the hook. He's not getting played as bad or hero. Again, it's just, nobody's getting these normal movie resolutions where like these things are tied up and it's just, this is a day.
Right.
People are not either good or bad.
Right.
They're a mixture of both. Did it feel a little improved in places?
Places for sure, yeah.
Certainly the like all the
talking to people on the street, yeah.
Yeah, and then the donut time, that whole climax, there were moments like where he said something, like they were outside smoking crack, and Chester says something, and
he says, "This isn't. Where did you get this from? This clearly isn't my garbage."
Yeah.
But
I actually kind of like Chester.
Chester's hilarious.
He makes a comment later, and then Cindy like serves it right back to him, or Dinah or whatever.
Oh, about
and he's like, "Well, I walked right into that." It just felt like a moment where he's like, "I didn't realize what I said," and she gave it right back.
That was really funny.
That was
I think
great.
those were improv moments,
and even like, well, yeah, that was and I even kind of like again, it's none of it's nice. Like, I wouldn't say he's a nice person, but like, there are real connections. Like when Dinah is like hassling Cindy, he's like, "What the fuck are you laughing at?"
Yeah,
like, it's kind of like,
and then he
leave her
pushes
alone.
her face into the table.
And like you said,
that
like,
was funny.
He got his Cindy's name tattooed on his chest.
Yeah.
And regardless,
something.
that like regardless
there are real
of
connections.
That is regardless of how like the pimp whole relationship is. You don't. And like, I'm not saying he makes good decisions either,
right?
But that is still kind of like a big decision,
right?
And you can just see him as like it's a transactional thing for him. But I do think he actually does have feelings for her because he comes across as this straight bro dude,
yeah.
But he's got engaged to a transgender prostitute,
yeah,
right. And
he
Dinah gives him
knows it,
for
like
that.
yeah. And even Dinah like calls him out for that, like, you into that gay shit,
right?
And like she makes kind of fun of him,
and he cuts her down right immediately, like, shut up.
Yeah, I think she uses the F word, and that she's full on.
Yeah.
She's
full
not
on
nice
gay.
about
she's
that.
not
like
nice.
The obvious villain, the pimp.
Yeah,
right.
He does have like shades of gray,
but absolutely, and he's got
But he is
and his humor is funny.
Yeah.
But he is probably like the most villainous of all the people, obvious villain,
Right.
in this movie, because obviously he's like sleeping around with everybody,
Right.
and playing around with everybody's emotions. But he does have like in the actual genuine connections with some of these people.
So
He's, if you want to compare it to Go, he's like the
Oliphant.
Oliphant, yeah.
Right.
The Oliphant in the room.
So, but
Zawo.
Yeah, you're
as
welcome.
is a true hero's journey, the actual dragon to slay may not be the one you think it is. And this is where the heartbreak gets revealed.
yeah.
Because as they're kind of chumming up and everyone's, reconnecting and whatnot after this whole thing has simmered down, because they're all basically, Resnick's journey is now over. He leaves and they're all talking about him. Actually, I think that's where the joke gets set up, because Chester's asking Cinderella about his dick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where the whole joke gets set up.
Yeah.
So Cindy happens to let it slip that
Or no, Chester says, well, you think you're... Oh, yeah. Cindy says Alexander's the one who told me.
And
you were cheating on
Chester's
me.
like, whoa. She's the one that told you?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about her.
Yeah.
So if you thought the fight that just happened was really the battle, it's not. And Chester actually says this. He's like, this is a girl thing. To me, this is a relationship thing.
Yeah.
Because Alexandria, sorry.
In the world?
Alexandria has been sleeping or has slept with me.
Yeah.
And that...
Like 3 weeks ago. So while Cindy was in jail,
Yeah.
Alexander slept with Chester.
Yes. And literally is, you see Cindy, that is her blow.
Yeah.
Because she...
Well, you could tell by the reaction she had to that realization,
Right.
that truth. Like, she reacted with anger with everybody else.
Exactly.
But when she found out that Alexandria slept with Chester, she shuts down.
Right.
Just walks away.
And doesn't want to talk and just walks away from the situation.
Right.
Whereas other people, she would confront them in anger and lash out.
Right.
Where this actually did hurt her because somebody that she really cares about.
Yeah, their connection is real.
Yeah.
And she loves her.
Yeah.
She absolutely loves her. And Chester is right. This is between, who I am.
Right.
And like, because a lot of their arguments in the coffee or in the donut shop are about like, is it truly cheating if I'm a pimp?
And it's a prostitute.
I have to test my
testing
goods.
the product.
He's testing how many times you have to test her? 10 times, Chester? But like, this is friendship. And this is the hard moment. And to me, it's so heartbreaking because you actually, what's her name? Alexandria has a tear run down her cheek.
Yeah.
She realizes, this whole time she's let her best friend run around and knew all along she was one of the people that was sleeping with Chester.
Well, I think it takes you back to that moment at the beginning where she just blurts out about it. You think that now you realize like she's just hoping that she can get that out of the way. She'll break up with him and never find out.
Yep.
Right.
Like,
yes. And so Cindy doesn't want anything to do with it. She's done. She's been wounded and can't come back from it. And so she's walking away. She just puts her hand up to Alexandria, even though that's probably the one thing that she really does, this one true, genuine relationship she does need. She's walking and she's leaving and she says, leave me alone. She's going back. I've got to make money. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. And she meets a car and she thinks she's, I guess, going to work that car. And that car throws a cup of piss on her, mostly hitting her wig. And then that allows the resolution of the film for Alexandria and Cindy to reconnect. And I think it's a really beautiful moment because Alexandria is able to come in, take her into the laundromat. They take her clothes. She's washing. She's taking care of her.
Yeah.
And then they sit and you can see Cindy looking at Alexandria, like trying to like realize, can we overcome this? Like, can we get through this whole thing? Alexandria's already apologized. She's done what she can do. And then, and Cindy is looking really just defeated. She has no wig on because her wig is being,
she lost
her armor.
Yeah.
Literally, she went in the cave and lost her armor. And Alexandria takes her wig off and puts her wig on Cindy and takes care of her.
It did look better on Cindy. I agree with you, Alexander.
It did. And they hold hands, and that's pretty much the end of the film.
Which is what I love is that even though their world is bleak, they ended with this reconnection and this forgiveness. I loved it.
Well, at the end, she takes the wig off too.
Yeah.
So they're both just sitting there exposed.
Exactly.
And they're basically naked, and that's just their raw emotions showing through.
Really beautiful moment.
And that is a big thing for like somebody, like, especially like transgender people, to like expose themselves because that's not what they want to show to people.
Right.
The wig, and that's what they see themselves as.
Right.
And to expose like the quote unquote real for them is like big for them.
Right.
And for them both to be there, just totally exposed, that's like the realest moment of the movie because there's no artifice to it. There's no like armor. Both their armor's down.
Yeah.
So that's like the realest. They're really connecting at that moment.
Yeah, I would agree. I like to think in my mind, that those two the next day are having the same conversation that Resnick and his wife are having at some point in their and they're resolving.
I like to think that the next day they went wig shopping.
Yeah,
because I feel like
down to Party City.
I feel like this is kind of like every day for them. That they've probably been through shit like this before.
Yeah.
So,
which is heartbreaking to think about, but probably true. Yeah.
I think they're just going to carry on on their lives until tragically, like one of them, something's going to happen to them.
Right.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say, when I read the IMDb description of this movie, I had a completely different idea of what it was.
Oh, yeah. I love that. We got to read the IMDb description because it is really funny.
I told Alise, I told Kai, I think it's like some kind of weird, edgy, romantic comedy.
It's the IMDb description is a hooker tears through Tinseltown on Christmas Eve searching for the pimp who broke her heart.
Doesn't that almost sound like an edgy kind of romantic comedy? Like, you know what I mean?
Like a true romance almost?
Yeah, kind of, like...
I think it is a very reductive way of describing this movie, but I guess you got to throw out a sentence to describe it. Sort of what happens.
Yeah.
That's not probably how I would have written the description exactly, but...
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's very tongue-in-cheek, too. I think that the description...
Well, sure. So whoever wrote that will, like, watch this.
Because, like...
Technically, it's accurate.
The actual description, like, two transgender prostitutes connect on a, sad Christmas Eve day. You're not going to...
You're going to be like, pass!
I'm not going to be like, sign me up.
Right.
I don't want to cry today. All right.
It's, and I, as much as, like, you talk about, like, the sadness, and there is a lot, especially the way Dinah's whole storyline ends. She goes back to her... Chester she asked for a taxi cab ride and basically was like, oh, Resnick took the last taxi, so you're around and walk it. She walks back to her apartment and they're all filled up. She replaced it. She just sits out there and she's kind of human and stripped at the end as well. But even though it is like has these incredibly sad, but has these incredibly happy moments, I just think part of what makes this movie happy and fun is that they're all okay because they still have...
Well, they found their tribe.
Yeah, they have their tribe, and we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna work it through, and we're gonna, go wig shopping the next day, or we're gonna whatever, and that's just why I love this film.
When you're at the bottom, you cling to whoever's around you, regardless of their intentions and their people, like the type of people they are.
Yeah.
Well, not to sound corny, but it's kind of a human spirit thing. It's like, well, when you, no matter how low or how dark your world seems, people will still find a way to make a real life and a real world and surround themselves,
Right.
Right. Because that's just what we're compelled to do.
Within Jurassic Park are female.
How do you know? Do you go around and lift up the dinosaurs' dresses?
I do.
They got some pretty sweet pussies.
What?
What is that?
It's a pussy.
It's a dinosaur pussy.
Smell that?
Wonderful. No.
That's a dinosaur woman.
No.
Smell that?
Wonderful pick, Mike.
Thank you.
Great pick. Really.
Thanks.
Not the kind of movie I would. I mean, not that I wouldn't watch it, but it's just not the kind of movie I feel like I'd find on my own.
Yeah.
So, which is what I love about Podcaster's Choice / Staff Picks.
I will say I really enjoyed it, but the direction style, the very fast, it's just not my speed anymore. Just because I'm old and my tastes have changed. It was at times I was exhausted because there's so much happening and just sometimes the characters are very unlikable.
Yeah.
And like they're just, yap, kikiing and laughing. And it's just
bunch of clucking hens.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I don't know if anybody else I know I wouldn't. There was parts of this adventure that kind of struck me as Goonies. In that
Chester Copper.
Right. I wouldn't want to be playing a keyboard that could kill me.
You're right.
But man, it sure looked like they were all having fun. Just that journey or that adventure piece
in a
of
weird
it.
way.
Crack does look like fun.
It reminded me, I love a day in the life movies like this.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just one day.
Like Run Lola Run.
Yeah. But it reminded me, I compare it to a LGBTQ Friday.
Yeah.
I actually
good
thought of
point.
it as Friday a little bit too. I got definite Friday vibes at the beginning more, but yeah.
But it's just, I just love just a day in the life movies.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Like Breakfast Club or Ferris Bueller's.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Stuff
Cindy
like that.
Squirts.
That's not just a day. That's a whole weekend.
But I was telling listeners, I was telling Mike that actually I really did enjoy the directing style. I love the color palette and the oversaturation, and I love the fisheye and just the constant movement. And it actually, I don't remember what my dreams were about, but I definitely was dreaming through that. It had that from the movie.
You dreamt that you dragged me through the streets of LA.
I did.
Looking for your pimp.
Chris Brown him a whole bunch.
Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Did I have two shoes on at least? Damn.
You just want to make sure
on.
you stop when it's just Chris Golden Brown. You don't want to go.
And that's another thing. That poor girl had to walk through the filthy streets of LA with one shoe.
Yeah. She definitely has Hep C if she didn't already have it.
What I actually
hazard pay.
Well, I'll kind of leave it after this, but I wanted to say earlier, talking about Dinah, there is something also just, even though she's fighting back, there's this weird resignation she has through that whole thing being dragged. She's kind of fighting, but it's almost, she's just well,
I'm gonna get my ass kicked
I guess
again.
this is what's happening right now. At no point is she ever really, maybe at the beginning when she first gets yanked down, isn't exactly sure what's going on. She's freaked out, but there's a point where she's just I guess I'm just gonna let this chick drag me around.
She's really one of the only people in the film that uses labels or gets labels.
Agreed.
With the fish part,
Yeah.
which can be really is be offensive to some people.
Sure.
Or offensive, whatever. It is offensive.
I'm sorry if you were offended.
Yeah, sorry if you were offended. But she also labels herself as bottom bitch.
Yeah.
And
That's a good. That's a good thing.
Right.
That means you're the top.
That means you're the top hoe.
Bottom is
Top
best.
hoe.
Yeah.
But she's
she's
labels
labeling,
herself
yeah.
right as she's
Yeah.
saying that. Chester basically, during the whole climax of this film at the donut shop, takes her head and just presses it on the table while he's having this conversation.
Kind of effortlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's used to
She's
being treated
resigned.
like
Exactly.
And also,
thing.
she
it doesn't
is
mean anything to her. Yeah.
And she's 90 pounds soaking wet too. So
Yeah.
she had no choice but to
Right.
be dragged through the streets of LA.
Right.
All right.
Which would you
Tangerine.
rather, one shoe, streets of LA, or one shoe on a bus in LA? The bus part
street.
bothered me more than the street.
We were on the Walk of Fame, and then I noticed everybody's kneeling down to get down to the stars.
Yeah.
And then as we slowly walked away from the clean area,
You found the turds.
we saw it started getting smelly, and oh my god, we were just on our knees and just touching the stars. We were just touching piss and poop. So I would rather be on the bus because the streets, they nasty.
Okay. Yeah, that Hollywood Boulevard Spider-Man just swung by and a turd fell out of his car.
That's a power move.
That's a real power move.
I don't know why there's no bottom in that thing.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Well, it is Hollywood.
Next
All right.
is Andy's pick.
It's a movie called Grapefruit.
It's citrus all the time. Is it just the grapefruiting scene from Girls Trip?
Or the original
Really
YouTube video.
better ending.
What's the YouTube video?
Apple
You've
fruit,
never seen
banana
the-
fruit, grapefruit.
Never seen the
Is that-
grapefruiting video?
Oh, is that where Tiffany Haddish got it from?
Yeah, it's the lady teaching women how to
God.
grapefruit.
Oh, no.
Remember that?
That is horrifying. The
Yeah.
sound she makes with her
Yeah.
mouth. God bless her. But
don't play it.
Jesus
I can look it up right
Christ.
Yeah, you can look it up on your own.
Do you know
I
it?
do not want grapefruit. Fruited. I don't want grapefruit. I don't want grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Grapefruits?
The name of the video is How to Grapefruit Your Man.
Okay, I'll
All
put
right.
that on my list.
Do you know what your pick is yet, Andy?
I've narrowed it down. It's either going to be The Age of Innocence by Martin Scorsese.
Oh.
Has anybody seen that?
No.
I don't think so.
Is that the one with Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
It's actually my favorite.
It's a good one.
It's actually my favorite Scorsese movie, even above like Raging Bull or Goodfellas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Birth. Has anybody seen that either? Birth?
No.
Earth. We live here. Earth.
Earth, I think is what you meant. No, I have not seen Birth.
Birth. It's 2004 Nicole Kidman movie.
You haven't decided between those two?
Or
Is that the one where she oh no, that's Fur. Never
To
mind.
hurry up.
it's either that or Sympathy for Lady Vengeance.
Oh, okay.
I've seen that one.
All right. Well,
Good picks.
We'll know soon.
I mean, I don't know Birth.
We're gonna do them all. It's gonna be a 5-hour episode.
I don't know her.
Age of Innocence. I haven't seen that since I was a teenager, maybe.
Welcome to Birth.
All right.
Yes.
We have our mailing list. If you'd like to join, you go to the NOTLP.com, scroll down till you see Dr. Acula or D. Racula.
Dr. Acula?
On the postage stamp there, give us your info. And you know what happens if you do that? You get a chance to pick one of our main attractions for the theme of the month.
There's a chance.
Andy.
I will say the mailings are not frequent.
No,
so
'cause
those
I
of you who are
frequently
like,
forget.
I get my Bed Bath & Beyond emails like 3 times a day.
No,
these are not. These are like monthly emails.
If that.
Every other so. Okay.
And they're fun.
So you get a chance. So Freddie has selected a number.
Yeah,
A random number.
Select a random number. I've selected the number 36 using my random number generator.
Who's at number 36 on
that's
our
a
list?
hit. What's your armor class? Lauren Rosing.
All right.
So Lauren Rosing, you'll be picking the final main attraction. The beauty of this theme is that we have no restrictions on what you pick.
Don't have to pick a horror movie. You can pick anything you like.
Any
horror movie.
Yeah, it could even be an episode of a television series, or the one thing I would say, accessibility. Please take that into consideration, and length. Mm-hmm. Like if you're like, hey, this novel's fantastic,
And girth too.
that might be a problem.
Yeah.
No, not diaper meat. That's too much from my Huggies.
Yeah. Keep it respectable.
All right. So at the end of every show,
telling me a story now.
so at the end of every show, we
Not
say
for this show.
Ew. The Beelzebubs, we say hi to them.
That's right.
Patreon.com/NOTLP if you want to support the show. These are the people who support us at the Beelzebub level. They are producers of the show. They are.
They put devils aside for you.
Show is not doable without patron assistance. Your Patreon money, that's what covers our web hosting costs, travel expenses for convention coverage,
gear,
manicures,
repairs and replacements,
transgender prostitutes,
our torsos,
jade eggs for our pussies.
It's how we produce how we produce our t-shirts and pins. And
my Hot Sauce of the Month Club subscription.
Dollar Shave.
Dollar Shave Club.
So these are the bottom bitches.
Yeah.
These are our bottom bitches.
Our favorites.
And Iona says she got her shirt and she loves it.
My girl.
So it's in Australia.
Be safe on Iona.
Yes.
That's my girl.
Jim Bolding.
Hi, Jimmy B.
Cassie and Jeremy Burmeister.
Oh, snap. How was Twin Peaks?
Are they finished in the 3rd season of Twin Peaks?
No, they went to see Firewalk with me, I think, with Ray Wise and Cheryl Lee.
Mike McGrainer's little tour. That's cool.
Yeah.
Bill Fahrner.
Hey, Bill.
Billy boy.
Blake Heath.
Balake.
Amanda James.
Oh.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Alise Kombrinck.
I see you soon.
I know her.
Jeff Lancaster.
I know him.
Tree and Alex McNulty.
Y'all want to go to Donut Time and get a donut?
Ernie
I
Perez.
wish I could go to Donut Time.
Y'all, Ernie, my show's at 7 at Mary's. I'll see you there.
Oh, yeah.
7
He's
at
not gonna
Mary's.
come.
7 at Mary's.
Mark Watts for No Man.
But he'll show up.
Branan, Whitehead, and Emily Intravia.
They're my little sweet baby.
Iona Goodwin. So nice. I said it twice. Adam Ingram. Thank you. You are, again, I cannot thank you guys enough. Patreon.com/NOTLP if you
But
want to
also, if you have extra dollars, they don't have to always go to us. They could go to Save All the Koalas and shit.
That's
in
true.
Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, and people and land and bugs and stuff. But look at the little baby koalas.
To even think about that,
it's too much for my
almost
brain.
derails me. So, yeah. Thank you.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Woo!
Yeah.
Apparently they're functionally extinct.
Oh, wow. Bye.
if he should go to bed. When his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead, and Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they'd enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London